Terrifying seconds when passengers say they thought they were going to die. They're talking about the turbulence now that injured a dozen people. The American Airlines flight was headed from Aruba to Miami last night. Officials say it hit some very rough air right off the coast of Florida. You can see here, right as the plane tried to fly around the rain on the radar there, happened in a 757 like this one. Witnesses say it tossed people from their seats and slammed them into the ceiling. The rattled passengers described a scene of complete panic. Here, listen.
Everybody's screaming. Everybody is screaming. You see the people, jumping down, up and down, and everybody's freaking out.
We were gonna die. We were gonna die. We were gonna die. It was scary.
The whole thing lasted just 15 seconds, but plenty long to put 3 people in the hospital. Trace Gallagher with the details tonight. It's almost fortunate that this happened when it did, I guess, right, Trace?
Yeah, because the seatbelt sign was on at the time, Chef. They were about 30 minutes outside of Miami, so just making their initial descent, which is about the time that you have the flight attendants kind of walking, doing their final checks. But that's also about the time that people are kind of getting up to go to the bathroom one last time. And, of course, there are people at that time that have not yet buckled their seatbelts. Here are 2 of them. Listen.
I never felt it, something like that in the past. Basically, with the noise and the bumps, you just think that it's going down.
I was in the bathroom, so when I closed the airplane started jumping around, and I hit myself in the knee.
You mentioned, Chef, that 3 people were taken to the hospital, but also several others were treated for minor injuries right there at the gate when the plane got in.
Chef Trace, often when you're flying, you hear from the pilot, we've been radioed by another plane that there's turbulence in the air. I guess they just had no warning this time?
No, and, they checked the radar in the cockpit as well, and there were no signs of this. They also get weather updates, but what you just mentioned there, the pilots will often radio other pilots, and that's a big indicator that there is some turbulence in the area. But in this case, there was no warning, so some are saying this might have been a case of clear air turbulence, or CAT. That's what happens when you have air going at different speeds and they collide. And just like after a crash, the NTSB will look into this. Listen.
There'll probably be a good, thorough study of what happened and what the pilots were seeing at the time and what the reports were at the time. Why didn't any other pilot encounter this as well? I think there'll be a good analysis of it, and then probably they will learn something from it.
And we should note there have been some fatalities on board flights because of clear air turbulence, but there's no record of it ever bringing down a passenger jet.